Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of the Warholy Talks Disneyland podcast. As always, I am your host Warholy, here to talk about everything Disneyland and Disney-related topics. To all who come to this happy place, you are always welcome. Today is a very different but special news start to the podcast. Of course, it's no news to the world that we've been struggling to through this whole coronavirus pandemic, which requires not only to stay in your homes, but also requires many non-essential businesses and spots to close down, which of course includes the Disney parks, for about 2.5 months now. So for the quick update, Shanghai Disneyland is open, and Disney World is planning to open anytime soon. I think Disney Springs is already open. Anyway, so this podcast may be the first and last time I'm going to be recording through the pandemic. But the good news is that it finally gives this great opportunity to try to record my podcast via Zoom with some very awesome guests. So today I am accompanied by two very fun ladies, Lanchen and Ashley. Say hi, girls.
Hi.
Awesome. I've known them for almost 2 years, about a year and a half, working together at Universal Studios, and we've always been friends since day one. Plus it was Lanchen that I first talked to this idea about, doing a whole Disneyland podcast, and she says, you should try it, we should do it, and finally here we are doing this. So let's see. So today, the main topic of today's episode is discussing and debating why some people still like to compare Disneyland to Disney World. And since Lanchen and Ashley have been to Disney World countless times, I felt it was best to invite them to the show to discuss everything. But before we get into the whole Disney World, Disneyland discussion, let's take the opportunity to get to know Lanchen and Ashley a little bit more from their love of the Disney parks with 4 simple but fun little questions that I love to do on all the episodes. So, let's see. Question number 1. Oh, see, they're shy. Question number 1. What is your favorite ride or attraction in any of the Disney parks? Who wants to go first?
Whoa, my pinky went weird.
Yeah. Lanchen, you're up first. Lanchen, you're first.
My favorite ride is Mission Space at Epcot.
Nice.
Because it simulates almost a replicated realistic experience of a shuttle launch and giving you 2.5 Gs. And an actual shuttle launch is 3 Gs. So it's that close. And I feel sick every time I do it. But it's the most incredible experience. And I truly feel like I could be doing it. When I'm on that ride, I'm like, this is real.
Is this the one where you have to press different buttons or something in order to complete the mission?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the new Star Wars ride, not the newest one, but the one where they hand out your role that you play.
Right, the Millennium Falcon ride.
Yes, that one. So it's similar to that. They give you a role and you have certain buttons you push, except it's just way more intense. You're not just moving like that. You're spinning at like 35 miles per hour. And as you're taking off, once you reach into space, you literally feel like you're floating because it slows down. It's the most intense experience. And it's definitely not for kids.
No.
Let me just say that. Most adults don't even get on that ride.
Why? Because it's too dizzy for them, or is it too...
It's just too intense. It's way too intense. I took someone on the ride for the first time, and they thought I was hyping it. And then once they got off, they were like, I don't know if I could ever do that again, but it was insane.
Crazy. Jesus. I don't know if the ride if it exists or not, but I still have to go to that one. Ashley, what's your favorite?
See, now I'm nervous and I forgot, but it's the one with water.
It's the one with water in Disneyland or Disney World or both?
I remember going on it on Disney World. I don't know if Disneyland has it. I just know that it has be caution, it's wet, it's slippery, all these little fun.
Splash Mountain?
Splash Mountain?
Yes.
Splash Mountain it is, yeah. As soon as you said water, I was like, that's the first one that comes to mind.
No, wait.
Splash Mountain is like a log ride going through. You see different critters and everything.
Yes, because I went to California, adventure one, and there's a one that you go around and you get that wet in that one too. There's 2 wet ones, right?
That's you're talking about ride.
You're talking about the Oh God,
The
Grizzly.
Roaring Rapids.
I am so
Oh,
bad
Oh,
at
Grizzly,
that.
some. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. No, but it's the log one.
That's the one you get soaked on. I would never want to go on that ever
I
again.
love it
It's
so much.
scary though. It's really
It
scary.
is. I love the
intense.
fact that you just see like the little dot at the end, and you get closer and closer, and you just know it's coming.
Right.
It's just boom.
Oh man. Okay, so next question. What do you guys miss at any of the Disney parks that is not there anymore?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes.
I honestly don't have anything that I miss because I love every upgrade that they give the park. So even I thought I missed Tower of Terror, but then I went
That's
on
the one
Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's still the same feeling. It's actually a little more intense, and I love the new set design that the Imagineers did to the previous building and how they changed it. So it's still like you still get the same ride. It's just a different theme, and I think all of their upgrades are so amazing. I can't even think about the old stuff when the new stuff comes. They're
Right.
so up with the times. They
That's
just
true.
constantly keep up with our generation.
And Ashley,
Yeah.
you're saying that's what you missed. The Tower
Yeah,
of
that's
Terror.
the one I was telling him earlier. But it's more like because I remember when I was younger, like it was a piece of my childhood in Miami. You know, I would
Yeah.
always go with my parents. We would always go on that one. But when I went to Guardians of the Galaxy, one, Alice hates me for it because now she's traumatized and she never wants to go on it with me again. But I absolutely love it.
Of course. But I'll agree with Lanchen. It's way more intense now with Guardians of the Galaxy. I've never gotten the chance to do Tower of Terror. I wish I did, but it's still in Florida. I could still have the chance. I know. It's but you know what? I've seen like a lot of footage with, starting from being in line to going on the ride itself, also going into the little library with the TV coming on and everything. That looked really cool, and I never got the chance to experience it in person, but doing Guardians of the Galaxy, I really did have a fun time with it. And I'm not used to those drop rides, so I'm just clinging onto those metal bars like, ugh! I think when I was last time I was on with my best friend, I was like, okay, we gotta hold arms because I do not want to go hands up or anything. It's a weird feeling, but the music is what really gets you going through the ride, so it's really fun. So
I agree.
Yeah,
I love that they have so many entertaining things to look at while you're waiting. Like I just think that's the best when they make the movie into the whole waiting line. You know,
they make
love it
they make the
too.
line
I love
more
it.
into the experience of being part of the
Yes.
ride.
Yes.
So that's exactly what they're doing with spoilers. That's exactly what they're doing with the Rise of Resistance ride. When you're in line, you're still part of the experience. So anyway,
It makes waiting so much better.
it does.
Yes.
It does. They really think those things through, and I think that they should update a little more on different rides. It depends. Anyway, so what do you guys say? What would you guys consider your best experiences at any of the parks?
Oh gosh.
So many.
Like a memory that always comes to mind.
I have a very specific one.
Okay.
I got to go to Disney World with John Stamos.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
would keep that one on heart too.
And I always think about it because I got to go behind the scenes of everything, and I actually entered all the parks from behind, and I had
Nice.
never seen it before. I didn't get to go through the tunnels, unfortunately. But
Aw.
entering from behind was so crazy because I felt like I was, and you know how like Universal, you get to see behind the scenes. It was
Yeah,
like
of course.
that, and you can access literally anything from the back. But
Like
I
old
had this
props
specific.
or something, or
No, like any of the. So I went to Epcot, and you could enter any country from the back, and it's so short. It's such a short distance.
okay.
You just like walk like
Oh.
100 feet, and all of a sudden you're in the next spot. But
Oh,
if you're
yeah,
in
yeah, from when
Epcot,
they're next
it's
to each other,
way
yeah.
larger if you're walking through it.
Right.
But there was a specific moment where we all had dinner at this restaurant in London called, I think, Rose and Crown. And I
Okay.
watched the Illumination show, and I was eating a Scotch egg, and I was like, "This is amazing."
It was like a nice little combination altogether.
We were, because
You're
you
like,
sit
this
right
is
on
a
the
moment
water.
I'm gonna remember for forever.
And I did. And then we also got to go into the park after hours, and no one was there.
Yeah.
And you can
Nice.
do that. You don't, it's like, that's not a specialty thing. If you buy a pass through a resort, you can do that.
Okay.
And it was just insane because there's like a handful of people in the park. and you can ride through everything, no lines.
You're saying during the after hours, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Ashley, what do you got?
Well, her experience just left any of my experiences just kind of like okay. No, I don't know. I love Disney. I grew up loving Disney. So to me, anything I can remember in Disney, it's fantastic. I remember last year that I was working at Universal? When I met the guy, I met Paloma like the same day she took me to Disney California Adventure for the first time. So I went with all of them. I went for free, and it was just amazing. I think that's one of the best ones. I'm like, who gets to go to Disney for free?
Lucky.
Me. Yes. No. I think taking my best friend to Disney World, Magic Kingdom, was probably the best one. We were talking about it when I was 14. We were in the living room after a sleepover, and we were like, yes, one day we're gonna go to Disney World. I'm dying to go. And I was like, I go there all the time. She went to UT, and I went to visit her, and I was just like, happy birthday, bitch. I mean, you mute that if you need to. I don't know. And I took her, and it was super fun. Except everyone that I take to amusement parks gets tired. It's like, come on, we're here for a day. I have a plan for us. And everyone's just like, Ashley, I think I've seen enough. And I'm just like, okay.
You know, the weirdest thing, though, is that every night before I go to the park, before I know I'm going to the parks, is that I get so excited that I cannot sleep. I have this weird, like, adrenaline in me. Like, when I'm laying down, I'm like, okay, please sleep, please sleep, please sleep. And I only get maybe, like, 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Yet, when I get to the park, I am fully energized, and I can go, like, 12 to 14 hours throughout the parks. You know, I always go back and forth since I have the annual pass. So it's like, I can go a long time, and I won't get tired until I get home, and I just want to knock out.
That happens to me every time. I have nightmares of me actually not waking up and missing going to the park.
Oh God! See, that's how much it gets us excited about everything, you know. So it's great. That's what I love about the parks.
What's one of your favorite experiences?
Mine?
Yeah.
I have way too many, but one that one that I recently mentioned on a YouTube video. So this was probably the second or third time I went to go visit this year for the when I had the annual pass. I was just walking around the parks by myself because I do that every now and then. Just it's a very nice experience just to go around by yourself. You get better opportunities to go on rides faster. You get to meet a lot of cool people. And so there was a point where I think I was done riding Soarin' in Disney California, and of course there's a gift shop across the way that's like themed, that has the theme of like camping, going out, you know, just camping in a trailer or whatever out there. But anyway, I'm just browsing around looking at the different Disney pins. I had my satchel with me, which had my Ravenclaw patch on it, okay? For all the Harry Potter fans out there. So, the cast member that was working in there comes up to me while I'm looking at the pins. She says, "Oh, hey, I like your Ravenclaw patch." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." And I could have just left it there. She could have walked away. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to make this, like, fun for her. I ask her, I'm like, because she's a Ravenclaw too, I ask her, do you know your Ravenclaw handshake? She's like, no. And I'm like, you want me to teach you? She's like, yeah, of course. I teach her it. We go through it a couple times. She finally gets it down. She's like, oh, thank you so much. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. And she goes to the back of the desk, to which I think she's got to help out with other guests. So I'm like, you know, that's fine. I taught her the thing. That's enough. That's a fun experience as it is. She comes back to me. She says, hey, Ravenclaw, because she didn't know my name. She says, hey, Ravenclaw. And she gives me the one important Disneyland badge I've always wanted my entire life, which was the Disneyland Citizens badge. With and it, oh my God, it's like you have to. I don't even know how to start with how to earn this badge, but it's like you have to earn it in a special way. I think it's like if you're extra special with the cast members and they know that you're there to have fun and you're showing fun towards everyone else, they'll give you that badge as in showing it's like you deserve to be here and all that. So I've always wanted it. Say it again.
You manifested it.
Yeah. So the thing is that I've seen them on sale, for sale on eBay, but I thought I want to have one that I can earn so that I could tell people how I earned it and everything. It's a better experience that way. But it doesn't end there. So she gives me the badge and I'm like, oh my God, I love this pin so much. I've always wanted it. You have no idea how much I've always wanted it. And she says, flip it around. I flip it and she wrote down a famous Ravenclaw quote in Sharpie. She didn't have to do that, but it's like, when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I have to keep this safe. I put it on immediately. I posted all over Instagram. And I even took a selfie with her, you know, saying, like, thank you so much. I went to the guest relations to give her a quick shout out saying, it's like, hey, she did an amazing job and everything. I think about the last time I went to go visit Disneyland, which was early March. Ashley, oh, there you go. The last time I went to go visit Disneyland in early March, I'm walking through Small World and I see that same girl with some friends. She was just on her day off. She was showing her friends around the park. I see that same girl and we're about to cross paths and we recognize each other and we're like, oh my God, hey, good to see you. How are you? And we came in contact with each other. And since then we've been like talking a lot. We've been like talking so much Disney. So I'm glad I ran into her again. So, Manda, if you hear this podcast, there's your shout out right there. So.
That's such a special experience. And at least you got that pin in such a genuine way. Instead
That's
of
what
just
I love
buying
about
it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's a special, like, you know, it's a feel to the heart of, like, you know, I got this just for showing a cast member like something extra special. I don't know, but it was a lot of fun. So let's go to the last question for you guys before we take a little break. So which character do you guys feel the most connected with, or which Disney character do you choose to be?
Now this one is one I can reply first.
Let's see.
So for starters, my daughter's name is Alice. I love the Mad Hatter. I just love him. I love everything about him, everything he says, what he stands for. Funny story is, I was so obsessed with Disney, not that I'm not still, that my daughter needed to have a Disney name. Like, it was just a fact. I just knew that in my life, one of my kids is going to have a Disney name. And that's when I found Alice from the 60s, and it matched with Alice in Wonderland, right, which made her Alice in Wumbaland. And then I'm the Mad Hatter.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Okay, question. Johnny Depp Mad Hatter or Ed Wynn, the original Mad Hatter?
Ooh, original. I mean, I love him, but I have to go with the original.
Ed Wynn, yep.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Anyway.
I think he's awesome. I think he's still great. Like, I watch him and I love him, but you can't take the original from me.
No, you can't.
Now, right. Pirates of the Caribbean, I can love Johnny Depp all you want. Right? Am I quoting the wrong person?
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again? Because some little window came up. What were we asking?
Who's the actor in the Caribbean one? The Caribbean movie?
Johnny Depp.
Okay. I thought I was thinking of the wrong person.
Jack Sparrow, yeah. Lanchen, Lanchen, what's your favorite character? Favorite, connected.
I think the one that I can relate with most is Moana. So she's the newer Disney princess. Is she considered a Disney princess? Yeah.
Yeah.
She is, right? She's a princess. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely would have to. I would have to say her, just because her sense of adventure and the whole story, how she doesn't want to stay where she grew up. And that's just so me. Like, I never wanted to stay where I was born. I just had to get out and leave and find my own path that was away from my family, even though my family's here. But you know what I mean? It's just it's self growth on your own, and you have to sometimes do that. And not everyone's all for it, but I really like that story and her character.
Yeah, it's like nothing held her back. She kept going.
Yeah,
I barely saw that movie earlier this year. I never gave it a chance. Hey, don't judge me, but I never gave it a chance. But it's like, since I have Disney Plus, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. See if I did.
What you thought?
I loved it. I really loved it. At first, I thought that Dwayne Johnson's singing of "You're Welcome" was a little corny at first, but then I got so used to it, and then I found out I could play it on guitar, and so ever since I started playing it on guitar, I became obsessed with it. It was a lot of fun. So it's posted on my it's all posted on my Instagram of me playing the song. But no, overall, I really liked Moana. It was very cute. It was very unique in a sense. So yeah.
The grandma part hit me so much.
Yeah.
It's just every time.
Yeah.
Oh, And then when she saw the stingray, like as she was lost in the ocean, it was just so emotional. I just kept crying. I actually got to meet the people that, well, not everyone, but a lot of the people that worked on it.
When you were at Starbucks?
Yeah, when I was at Starbucks, they gave me a tour. One of the ladies, she was like one of the effects. So she actually showed me how she did it, what she had to do.
Wait, Ashley, do you want to tell the guests which Starbucks specifically, because they don't know what?
Oh yeah, I worked at the ABC Disney Studio Starbucks. They have like 4 locations, and I worked in all of them. So I definitely got to meet a lot of people in different parts of Disney. So Animation Studios was one of the places that I made the most friends, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I went to not the premiere, but they were dropping a few clips of the Moana, and they were doing like a whole tour. So that was my first time walking into the building, and they had like 2 movie theaters in there, and I watched a preview of Moana, and that's when I talked to even more of them, and it was pretty great. I mean, it was a dream come true. Like I said, I always loved Disney, and then working in Starbucks at a Disney, it was meant to be.
Dang, that's so cool.
No, it's great that you made those fun connections. It's like every time you mention that you worked in that Starbucks, I get jealous because you saw all of those people. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, working at Universal is fun for some things, I guess, but what your experience is like, oh my God,
it was direct to them. Like it was direct to, like I mean, I didn't go to Disneyland with John Stamos, but John Stamos passed to Starbucks, so we both saw him.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's as like comparable or anything. But I went to. No. What I'm saying is that I went to Disneyland with Miss Pamela DeBar, rock and roll's most famous groupie. So, a lot of people that I've talked about this to, they're like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky," and I'm like, "She's just Pamela. She's just having." You know, we're just all hanging out as friends.
Because you guys are friends, but to other people, they're like,
I know.
and you are secretly like, but she's just your friend.
No, she's an amazing friend. I'm still trying to get her on a podcast because she is just obsessed, if not more than me, of Disneyland, and I think of Disney World too. So I got to get her on an episode.
You do.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's end this part 1 of this podcast really quick. Let's take a quick break and everything, and when we come back, we'll talk about this whole topic about why people get into.
I'm so excited.
I know it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh gosh, because I'm one of those people.
Oh man, it's gonna be I like that we're gonna get into this discussion. So. All right, everybody. We'll see you on to the next part. We'll see you in just a second. Bye-bye. Hey, everyone. Hope you're enjoying the podcast. Just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Warholy Talks Disneyland, and a big welcome to anyone who would like to be on the next episode. You know, I'm always grateful for the people that have joined my podcast to talk everything Disney, but I'm always seeking new and fun Disney-loving folk who'd like to be a guest on the show. So, if you're up for joining, if you have a Disney park topic to discuss, or if you just want to hang out and talk anything Disney, then be sure to hit me up on my email address, which is warholytalksdisneyland@gmail.com. Once again, it's warholytalksdisneyland@gmail.com. I'm really hoping to meet more of you Disney fanatics. Thanks again, and enjoy the rest of the podcast. What'd you think?
I didn't know it had water on it.
Huh?
I didn't know it had water.
Welcome back to episode 5 of the Warholy Talks Disneyland podcast. Let's head right into the main topic of the episode. Why do people like to compare Disneyland with Disney World? Is it the size? Is it the amount of the rides? Is one more charming than the other? There have been countless articles and videos all over the internet that treats this comparison like a fun game or as a serious tourist advice video for those trying to decide which is better to visit. But the big thing is that we overlook is that they're completely different in their own charming way. So let's dive into the discussion with Lanchen and Ashley, who have not only been to Disney World, but also lived in Florida for a period of time. So let's, anybody want to start any open discussion?
Daniel, I feel like you're gonna hate us after this.
No, I'm open to all of this. I'm not judging anybody, and I'm not saying Disneyland is better than Disney World or vice versa. I just want to hear some different things. So.
I want to start with Disneyland is the OG. Okay, we cannot have other stuff unless Disneyland was created. Mm-hmm. But I think that I leave the respect to Disneyland just to Walt Disney and his vision. Nothing about the park itself.
Okay.
Because, yeah, when I first went to Disneyland, it was like, oh, wait, so Disneyland's the same thing as Magic Kingdom, except 3 times smaller.
It's true.
Because, like, it would take me, like, 15 minutes to go through different sections of Disneyland. I mean, Magic Kingdom. As to Disneyland, it was like 2 minutes to walk from Frontierland to the other one.
Right.
Like it's not. No, I was shocked. The first day, I was shocked. I was literally shocked for 2 weeks. I was like, why does everyone fight that Disneyland is better than Disney World? I couldn't understand it because I grew up with Disney World. You know.
Right.
It's like.
Right.
I felt like a giant.
Some are used to the parks that they grew up going to anyway. So, did you guys also know that the Disneyland here in California is I think it's a tad bit smaller than the parking lot in Disney World?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Disneyland fits in the parking lot.
Lanchen, you didn't know this?
No, but that's bad.
Here's something. No, here's something a little crazier. The entire property of Disney World itself is about, if not bigger, it's about the same size as San Francisco.
What?
Wow, I did not know that.
Yep. That's the city that they compare it to.
That's intense.
Wow.
Very intense, which is why I'm more excited to go visit Disney World.
You should be excited.
I know.
It's going to change your life.
Oh, I know that for sure. No, without a doubt. I've seen a lot of videos on like tips on what to do in Disney World, what hotels to visit, and everything. So it's
yeah, I think Disney World is more of an experience.
Yeah.
So if you go to Disneyland, you can get through everything in a day. You can go through both parks in a day.
Yes.
But keep in mind, it's very limited to space. But back in the day, Disneyland was, the first of its kind, and that was really amazing to people. So there are things about Disneyland that Disney World doesn't have, and it's more of like, you can go to the Jungle Cruise and you can get like a secret map. You can go to the Haunted Mansion and you can get a death certificate. So like those little things are fun, and they do not have that at Disney World, and they also don't have Club 33.
Yeah, they don't have Club 33 at all.
They don't have the Blue Bayou restaurant, which I love at Disney
Lovely
World.
place.
But Disney World is such an experience. You can stay at a resort. You can take a boat to other resorts. And not only that, you don't even have to go to the park to experience it. If you go to a resort, you can do so many things. They have like character dinners. They have like themed hotels for different movies. They have drawing classes where you can learn how to draw different Pixar characters. it's just next level. And
it's like every hotel is themed differently, and then you just go wild.
And you can just boat. You can boat into different parks, or you can take the monorail, and it's not a day experience.
No, it's not.
Like you were saying, it's like 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks to get at least to get everything done, or at least to go back to different things. So I mean, from what I've seen is that there's different forms of transportation besides the boat and the monorail. There's also the bus. There is, I think, you can call an Uber or a Lyft, or you can call in a special Disney-owned. It's a Disney-owned rideshare or Disney-owned taxi.
And it looks like Mickey.
No, it looks like Minnie,
right?
Because it's called a minivan.
Yeah,
oh
it's
my
red
God.
with polka dots. I saw it, and I was like, what is this thing?
A red, white polka dot van. They call those the minivans, and I thought that's the most creative thing I've ever seen.
I mean, Disneyland's not so bad for the space given. I feel like they're doing what they can. Now that there's Star Wars, that really upped the park for me. Because,
it does.
Yeah, because we have Pandora at Animal Kingdom, and Animal Kingdom and the safari, that is just something you'll never, oh my gosh, you'll never be able to experience that here.
No, you'll never will.
And it's so one of a kind, and his vision just like, he was able to do so many things there, and the other people that he worked with, because he wasn't, I don't think, was he alive when that one ended up opening? No, right?
Disney World opened in 1971. Walt Disney died in 1966. However, I think he has already been to Florida to already, talk about the layout plans, because it was his it was already his idea since I think the early 60s, and they originally called the idea Epcot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I think it was his brother. Yeah, it was his brother who gave the opening speech, and I think a couple years later or sometime soon after he passed away.
Yeah, so I think the one thing Florida has to offer is Epcot. You can really travel around the world. That is just the best experience for any adult.
Right.
Ever. Like, I swear to you, if I wanted to travel, I would rather go to Epcot and travel all around the world there than actually go and travel, because being to some of those places, it literally looks exactly the same.
Exactly the same as in like the countries that they're based off of? Or?
Yeah, and the people that work there, they also are from those countries.
I would like to say name of countries, but we know me, I say things wrong. But yeah, everything is themed to the country. Like, even the mugs. Like, let's just imagine you're going to, I'm not going to say it, but.
Go ahead, say it.
I don't know the name of that country.
Germany?
But is it Germany?
Japan?
There's Germany.
Mexico.
The Netherlands. The Netherlands.
They have a band, and people are like dancing, and they're wearing kind of.
Germany.
Germany. Okay. Yeah. That's like printed memory of me, and I just remember running to the little dance floor and dancing with them, and I have a picture eating like a big piece of chicken, or I don't know what that was, but everything looked like you were there. I think that's magical. That's why it's the most magical place on earth.
It is. It really is. And not to mention, the castle is 1,000 times better. Can they please make the castle at Disneyland better?
No.
Too
they
small.
did.
Why,
they did.
Okay.
Okay.
Why is it so small?
Okay. First of all, they did make it better at Disneyland. It was like around the same time that they were trying to promote Galaxy's Edge, where they did this whole thing called the Stardust Project, where they not only revamped up the castle, but they revamped up other different parts of the park, including Main Street. But what they did with the castle was that they repainted it. It's like deep in saturation. And I think now, I don't know if it was there before, but now I think there's like little cut sparkles on parts of the castle itself. But they did revamp up the castle for, I don't know, just to keep it up to date with Galaxy's Edge or something. I don't know. But
is it this tall?
It don't matter if it's tall or not.
Well, let's just say I took my friend to Disney World, and he's been to Disneyland. And when he saw the castle in Disney World, he was like, okay, this looks like a real castle. He was blown away by it. He's like, this is so why doesn't it look like this at Disneyland? And I always wondered the same thing.
But then again, do you
That's
think that
why
they
I
would
give it to, like, it's the OG. That's the only way I can save Disneyland. It's because, like, without Disneyland, there's no
Disney World wouldn't exist. Yeah.
Exactly.
Let me ask you then, because you were asking why can't Disneyland's castle look like that? First of all, size comparison. You got to remember the size of Sleeping Beauty Castle as compared to Cinderella's castle. Second, do you think that they would have had the technology and, like, I guess the design or architecture in 1955 to make what they made for 1971?
Yes.
No, they would not have. No way.
They could fix it by now.
Maybe not that then, but by now they should have done something about it.
Okay, yeah. I disagree with that because Disneyland is supposed to be kept in its historic, charming state. So if they change up the Sleeping Beauty Castle, OG. If they change up the Sleeping Beauty Castle, everyone is going to go like crazy
insane.
Nuts. So they're going to be mad, and I'm going to be just as mad because Disneyland is supposed to be kept, like I just said this, in a historic, charming. Yes, original. Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, I do like that it's two different experiences. I just wish Disney World was closer for me to experience because I feel like
more often.
Like every time I go in one day and I park hop and I never truly get to experience Disney World like I do Disneyland. I know Disneyland so much better and I know like all the secret places to visit and I don't know Disney World like that and I actually don't know if those things even exist there because it's not the original.
Well, you can only park hop in Disney World if you're staying there for about a week or so. With Disney California or Disney and Disney California, this is what I do on like a normal day on my own. I go to Disneyland early in the morning. I spend like maybe about a few hours, couple hours there until like around 12 o'clock. Go to Disney California, do just a couple rides that, that are essential to me. Maybe spend some time in different attractions here and there, and then just go back to Disneyland and spend the rest of the evening there. Because the parks are, of course, smaller than the Magic Kingdom, but it's like the parks are small enough for you to experience both if you buy the park hopper. It's especially if you have the Max Pass, then you're good. You are golden to be doing everything.
Yeah.
Within the day.
Yeah. I also think another thing to mention is I haven't seen the shows at Disney World just because there's never enough time, but I did see the Frozen show here in January and I cried. It was so good. And I'm sure the actors here are 1,000 times better than in Florida just because we're in California.
Are you talking about the Frozen?
Insane.
Are you talking about the live show in Disney California at the Hyperion Theater?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, it's going to be biased. I cannot stand Frozen. Not that it's a bad. Okay, let me get out what I have to say. Not that Frozen is. Not that whatever. Not that Frozen is terrible. Frozen has done an amazing job with gathering so many fans. It's just brought in a lot of like business and merchandise or whatever. It's very successful. But for me, when it first came out, I guess the whole hype of it is kind of what ruined it for me, in a sense. But I will say that I do not like that they put Frozen in the Hyperion Theater because it's not exactly the same as Aladdin, the Aladdin show, which was crazy, insane fun to be a part of, especially because the one actor that steals the show is the ones that play the genie because he has a lot more to improvise with jokes, with different little like lines here and there. Whereas Frozen, it's more of like fantasy charming and everything. And so is Aladdin, but they add a lot more to it. Just saying.
I didn't see the Aladdin show.
They're all on YouTube.
I didn't. But I also think that you prefer Aladdin because you don't like Frozen.
No, I prefer Aladdin. No. If Aladdin's show didn't do as good, then I would have said, okay, Frozen was probably better in their production and everything. But Aladdin's great because it has a full circle of different things. So
yeah.
I don't see as many kids getting signatures from characters here as they do in Disney World. Like, there's not enough characters.
Because there's a lot
that's
more,
like, No, like, that's one thing that I wasn't curious. When I took Alice to Disneyland, I was like, I had to ask a few people. I'm like, do you know if they still do signatures? And they were like, it was like the third person told me that, yeah. And then that's when I found the little princess room, and she took pictures with them. Like, but it's like for me going to Disney, it's like I need to bring my little book. Like they need to sign my book, or else I didn't go to Disney or Disney World. I
made my own autograph book. Oh God, it's like hard to see. But I made my own autograph book to where I have like all the characters. Oh, that was different. It's hard to see, but who is that? That's Piglet.
You can't see it.
Yeah, now it's all messed up. Thanks a lot, freaking white screen back there. But yeah, no, it's like you have to, sometimes you still have to ask ahead of time. It's like, can these characters do autographs? Some of them, depending on the size of the costume, they're not able to.
Yeah, they can't. Oh, well. But yeah, no, like that's something when I was a kid, I was like, must do, which is like now I look at kids and like no one's
doing it.
Yeah, like no one's interested in doing it. Like, do you even know you can do this?
I could answer a possible reason why.
Why?
Because because technology. Because people think that a picture is just enough to show people. It's like, hey, I got a picture with them. It's great. Because back then, it's like you could show, oh, I got their autograph. This, and that. That's like, I guess, the way to prove that you met these characters. But it's just extra fun to get an autograph from them. And these characters are trained to, I don't want. Okay, I'm going to talk Disney terminology here. The Disney people who are best friends with the characters are trained to do the same signature like every time. It could be a different best friend to the character, but you guys aren't confused what I'm saying, huh?
No.
What? No, what I'm saying, the best friend to the character.
Even they know it?
No. Okay. When I say that this, like, let's say if I told you, I'm like, hey, did you know Lanchen is best friends with Aurora? That's the Disney language to say that Lanchen is playing Aurora in the parks.
Oh.
So it's like, hey, this is my friend Jessica. She's best friends with Alice. She plays Alice.
Can you release that information? Is Disney going to come after you?
No, they're not going to come after me. This is all over the internet and everything. I'm just saying, just in case kids watch this, but no, but it's like they're always trained to give the same autographs, which I always find is fascinating. So,
okay, another question: does Tinkerbell fly into the castle in Disneyland?
I don't know if they do that anymore. Although the zip lines are still there because they were, even though it was back then it was just Tinkerbell, but when they updated different shows, they would put up different things on that zip line. So when I took Rachel for the first time, it was during the whole Pixar nights, the whole Pixar Fest or whatever. Mm-hmm. So when we went to go see the fireworks show and the projection on the castle, they brought out two things. First was Buzz Lightyear on the zip line. That was like the coolest thing we ever saw. Oh, it got better. The second time when they played up on the projection of the castle, they brought out the house with the balloons on it. So I was like, oh, that is so cool. It's all over YouTube and everything. So it was a lot of fun to see in person because it's like, when I saw it, I brought out the same reaction. I was like, oh, they're so cute. So seriously, I get emotional over Disneyland. So sometimes I'll act like a girl. I'm like, oh my God. So, man. But yeah, I don't.
You know you're a fan.
Say it again.
That's when you know you're a true fan.
I don't even care what other people think around me because sometimes people out there will be like, "Who the fuck is that guy?" But I'm like, I don't give a crap. But yeah, no. Going back to Tinkerbell, I have not seen anything recent with Tinkerbell doing the whole zipline thing.
That's like another thing for me. It's like I need to see Tinkerbell fly into the castle, and then the show in Disney World is much longer.
And it's so long.
And it's so much more fireworks. Everything's bigger. Yeah. Bigger is better.
Yeah.
But you guys are familiar with the whole Tinkerbell's like Pixie Grotto thing?
Yeah.
The meet and greet? Yeah. Ashley, you know about this?
Isn't that new?
It's been around for a few years now. So for Ashley, Ashley doesn't know this one. So literally between Tomorrowland and the pathway to the Matterhorn is what looks like these tall structures of what looks like giant grass. And what you do is that you walk through it, and it feels like you're being shrunk down to the size of a pixie. And
I walked there, but I didn't meet her.
Oh,
I walked
didn't?
through there, but I didn't meet her.
Oh.
Because I remember, and I'm like, why do I feel like I'm like a pixie right now? You know what's her movie?
I don't even know that movie.
There's a movie about the pixies.
No, I know. I know which
Hollow?
one it is, but Pixie Hollow. No.
No, that's,
Oh,
where, they
they
live.
live.
That's where they live. See, this is
Well,
how
then-
this is how I know I don't watch that stuff.
So that's where she is.
Yes.
Okay. Now I know. Now
I was gonna
confused.
bring up a picture, but you already know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so what are some other things though that we can compare though between? Well, sorry, I don't even want to compare. I'm just saying it's like, why do people feel the need to compare besides what
The
we
restaurants.
mentioned? Restaurants too.
The
Disney
restaurants.
World.
Okay, so first of all, Disney World is so popular that to book reservations for restaurants, you have to do it 130 days in advance.
Yes.
You're supposed to. So like if you show up and you try to get a seat, good luck. And it's just because the restaurants are so insane. There is a drive-in movie theater that you can go to and you sit in cars underneath the stars and it's like alien themed and you watch old movies in black and white and it's such an amazing experience. There's that one. And they have the new, is it called Space 201? The new space restaurant? Have you heard of this one?
No. I could Google
So
it right now, but
it's
go on.
in Epcot. It's not, I don't think it officially opened, but you actually eat in space. So you step into this elevator that's shaped, it's like a circle, and you look down into this circle and everyone surrounds it and it simulates that you're taking off from Florida going into space to the ISS. And you actually eat in space.
Oh.
There's no windows.
It's called Space 220.
220. Okay. It looks like you are in space and there's like Star Wars ships flying by and they even have like space food. I think they have a dehydrated cheeseburger or something.
So
crazy.
it's a simulated space hub restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an insane experience. And they're also opening a Star Wars themed hotel, but it's going to be a space cruise.
I heard about that. Yeah.
You get charged as if you were going on a cruise. So you can only go for 3 nights. It's all inclusive. It's very expensive, but you don't see anything. You don't see the daylight. You just see TV screens that simulate like you're in space and you stay like capsules. You wear space suits. It's the coolest thing I've ever heard of. And only Disney could come up with something that elaborate.
No, of course, because they have not only the budget, but of course they have enough space and time and everything to do that. Pun intended. Or no pun intended. No, but I heard about the whole cruise idea like a few months back. I just thought to myself, how are they going to do this? What exactly is going to be? Is this going to be a restaurant? Is it going to be a?
When's it coming out?
Because of the whole pandemic, they push things. They push, the plans to things. So I'm assuming it's probably going to come out in 2022, maybe.
Probably.
Oh, okay.
The restaurant was supposed to be opened in November. It got pushed to February, and then it's still not open because of what happened. So I'm assuming once it reopens the park, it'll be up and ready to go.
Based on the technology and the special effects that it requires, it's going to take a long time for it to be finished. So.
Yeah.
What?
The cruise, the hotel thing. So, oh man, God, what other things though? Of course, we don't have the water parks. We don't have golf courses. We don't have movie theaters. They have Disney Springs. We have Downtown Disney. Of course, Disney Springs is just an entirely giant thing.
I love it. Oh my God.
It just like I mentioned earlier,
you're just making me want to go to Disney World.
I know I've seen way too many footage, and the way that I got more into like the knowledge of what Disney World holds is because of this book series that I used to read, where it just talked about these fictional adventures throughout the entire Disney World property. Granted, like 1 or 2 books had a place different, but like it was mostly because it was mostly located in Disney World. So some of the things that I read, I'm like, what's this? What's that? What's this attraction? There was Mission Space. There's a part in one of the series that involves Mission Space. Another one, Spaceship Earth. So, anyway.
So yeah, the Spaceship Earth Test Track. That one's good.
Oh, okay. I saw the update for Test Track. I don't like it.
What's the update?
The update makes it look like Tron.
Oh, it was closed when I went, but I think it's next level because they have a Tron ride in Shanghai Disney.
Yeah, that I'm excited for, but that looks like a ton of fun because it's like you're laying like as if you're on
You're like
motorcycle.
on a bike. I know.
I know it's gonna be a lot of fun. But when it came to Test Track, right? That's what the ride's called.
Yes.
Okay, so they updated it, and it looks like it came out of the Tron movies. And I thought this looks dumb because originally the original idea the original concept of Test Track was like you were like a test dummy, and you're going through these different scenarios. So it doesn't make sense if the new update looks all Tron related or whatever, because you're thinking it's like I thought it was supposed to be part of a.
See, as a Tron fan, I won't mind it, but I get it. But I do love Tron, so like now I'm excited now that you said it.
So I think I've actually been on it since the Tron update. Now that I think about it, because last time I went, there was just like this whole section that was just blue LEDs.
Yeah,
and
that's what
and the trees were like LEDs. I thought it looked really cool, but it was still telling you what you were supposed to be simulating and testing as you were going through. It was like, okay, now you are going through the forest, and you're like, so I didn't think it took away from the experience. I didn't feel like it was specifically Tron. It just looked cooler.
Right. Also, based on the original footage that I've seen of the original Test Track, because it's like I guess there was like these two hosts of the show that were supposed to be like these professors or whatever that were experimenting cars. Well, one of them is actually somewhat of a famous-ish actor who's been in a lot of different movies. And he used to shop at the market that I used to work at down the street. So because I think he lives up in like the Mount Washington area. But it's like when I saw him on the footage of the ride, I was like, I know that guy. I've seen him in person. He's been in movies and all that stuff. So it's fun.
I have something else to add.
Mm-hmm.
Disney World is better because no. This is actually a really great point. It may be expensive to travel there. I know that, but if you lived in Florida, the tickets are cheaper for Park Hopper. And when you get in the park, food is so cheap. When I went to Epcot, and because this was recent, I can say this, I got sushi, I got food from Germany, France, Mexico. Like I ate almost everywhere, and it was only $40 for two people.
For the whole okay. Let me ask you this.
We were getting like sampler things. Like we got 4 pieces of sushi. We got like a croissant. We got like a full Mediterranean meal. We got Swiss like mac and cheese. We got bratwurst in Germany, but it was so cheap. Everything was like $2.50. And here it's so expensive for their food.
It is not that good.
No, it's so expensive. And not only that, you're paying for food on top of a very pricey ticket. And there it was like $179 for Park Hopper to, what is it, 4 parks? Three parks?
Wait.
Four parks.
But I
only did 3.
For 4 parks, but in how many days though?
1 day. I did 1 day.
That's why it's so cheap, because they know that you can't do everything in 1 day. So it's like you're thinking, oh, they know that it's
cheap. It's technically cheaper though the more days you do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
it's still more expensive to do it here.
But regardless, it's because the reason why it's cheaper there is because they know you can't do everything in.
But Park Hopper here is almost the same price as that.
It's more expensive.
Well, but besides that, you get to do
for the ticket and then like $50-$60 for the upgrade.
I think it's $180.
But I think I think the reason why maybe it may be the same or at least a little expensive is because you get to do a lot more in both Disney World and Disney California than you can do with 4 parks in 1 day.
Well, it depends, because this is what Disney World has something Disneyland does not. You can get all of your tickets beforehand, the front of the line, on your phone. So you don't have to go and pull a ticket. It's all through the app. And before you even go to the park, you purchase your ticket and you can select every single ride that you want to go on before you even get into the park. So it goes so fast.
Thank you.
And then once you finish one ride, you can get a new ticket for the next. Like you can do 4 at a time.
We have that. We have that.
But you have to go to like the little kiosk place to press the ticket.
And then go back.
That's why
exactly.
Okay, wait. We have Max Pass.
It takes time.
Disneyland has the Max Pass that you could do on your phone. You could reserve to go on a ride, and when you're in line for that ride, you can reserve for another ride. That's what we have the Max Pass.
Well, I think it's extra because Magic Kingdom, they told me as soon as I'm getting in, I think it was 3 that they gave you that you can pick a certain time for you to go to the Fast Pass, whatever you want to. Max Pass, Fast Pass.
Yeah,
okay.
At Disney World, it's free for everybody. You don't have to pay extra.
Yeah.
Everyone can do it.
Max Pass.
But you do get like a certain amount, right?
It's free. I just went. I swear to you. Yeah, it's free. You just have to do it in advance. So you have to make sure you buy your ticket in advance if you want those benefits. Because if you don't do it in advance, everyone's gonna.
You're saying it comes included with the Park Hopper plan, right?
Yeah, any ticket comes with it.
Yeah,
Disney World.
Any ticket, not just Park Hopper.
It's not extra or anything. They really got it down. Like traffic isn't too bad. They planned it out pretty well. Because I think Disneyland needs that, but I don't know why they won't do it.
I was so confused when I saw it. I was like, okay, how do I get my little pass to go faster? And I just couldn't. Like through the app, I never found it. And it wasn't until like 3 times later when I saw someone with me pull it. And I was like, oh, that's what these machines are for? Nice to know.
Can I mention something that you guys or that Disney World has that I wish Disneyland had as well? Is the magic bands. I wish we had that. It's a lot easier for things.
It is easier. Something that Disneyland has that Disney World doesn't is Disneyland has more single rider on pretty much everything because they don't have that app. I asked the employees while I was there. I was like, "Why don't you guys have single rider?"
Max Pass? We have. I have Max Pass for my thing.
But it's extra. So like,
this is $10 every time.
It's extra. So
it's $10.
They were like, we don't need the single rider because everyone can just in advance get on the rides.
Okay, for me personally, when I got my annual pass earlier this year, they gave me the option to do. They gave me the option saying, "Hey, do you want to pay for Max Pass for the entire year, just for $100?" And I'm like, "That's perfect because." Yeah, it's brilliant because think about this. For Max Pass, I think over here it's like every time you go as a single day visit, if you want to buy the Max Pass, it's like $10. So I'm thinking if I'm going to be visiting multiple times, wouldn't it be a lot easier to pay $100 rather than more than that every time I go?
You go, yeah.
So I have it already set into my account. So once I'm in, Max Pass is already activated. Not only that, but it's like I also have the unlimited photo pass, so I can go to every Disneyland photographer and saying, "Hey, can you take my picture?" I give them my badge, and that's that. And then it goes into my account straight like that, no problem.
See,
easy.
When I go, I do it, but then because I have Alice, like I need to get 2 of them. Then, so like, what's the point? Like, I'm just not gonna get 2 Max Pass.
It's what's the point for the rides? But with the Max Pass for photos, one person can get it, and then everybody can get it.
So like that's why I only get mine, but then I can't skip the line with her because I didn't get hers. So I think that's the bummer.
How often?
I can't believe they charge for that here. That's so weird.
Do you take her with you every time you go though? Let me ask you
that. Most times.
Most times. Okay, so then what I would suggest though is
but every time I go, I get the Max Pass.
Okay.
With her.
Yeah, just in general, because like I don't really use my phone because I want the battery to last.
But then here's what I would suggest for you, because if you think you're going to be going to the park, if you think that you're going to be going to the park without her and with like some other friends, what I would suggest then is just to get the entire Max Pass for a year for yourself, and so every time you take her, you just pay the $10 for her.
I don't go that often, Steve.
Okay.
But that's because you do have the annual pass holder, that is the best idea. If I was the pass holder, I would.
I have an annual
2 tickets.
I know. I have my annual pass. Like it comes with like the card, so I also bought myself an Alice in Wonderland lanyard to attach to it. It's fun, but it's like I have 3 Disney lanyards, and one of them is filled with Disney pins. So.
Another thing I have to mention is the parking at Disneyland is expensive. And is there a way to go? Is there a place to park and then go in without?
Yes.
Is there a hack? What is it? Because I don't know it.
Okay. It's going to be a little Disney exclusive for everybody who's listening. So there is a way to park for free without having to do the Disneyland parking lot, as long as you don't mind a 15-minute walk. Yes.
You park in the neighborhood on the outside?
Yes.
Okay.
Specifically, I know I've seen a lot of people do this too, but specifically, I believe it's on Harbor Boulevard and Ball Road. It's like where you get off the freeway, there's going to be a Starbucks and a gas station. On the other side of that is a neighborhood that has no time limit or anything. You just park there all day. And if you don't mind that 15, I know. And if you don't mind that 15-minute walk, you're golden. And this is what I do sometimes when I'm done with the park. Yeah, that's right. Take the Uber back to it if you're getting too tired.
Cheaper than the parking.
Way cheaper.
Exactly. So once I was done with the parks, I got to the rideshare drop-off pickup area, and I thought to myself, well, like, what if these guys already know the whole thing about people going? Anyway, so I talked to the guy, and I'm like, hey, I'm parked not too far from here. Is that okay? He's like, oh yeah, people do that all the time. I'm like, great, I'm golden. $5 for the Uber, I'm good.
So something really cool about Disney World is you can get around parking because all you do is you go to the resort and you say you're visiting someone. They never ask you, like, they might ask you something like, who is it? What's the name? And I've gotten in every time. I always just like finesse, but you just park in the parking lot and you take the monorail every time, free.
It just depends on which hotel the monorail stops at, because it only stops at 3 or 4.
Yeah, I always go to the Polynesian.
Yeah, Polynesian's one of them. Polynesian, Grand Floridian, and I think
I love the Grand Floridian.
And I think the closest one to Disneyland, which is that triangular, and I'm forgetting the name of it.
The ferry goes from the Grand Floridian. I don't know if the monorail does.
The only two bits of transportation that can take you to any part of Disney World is the buses and the rideshare.
And the buses are really good, but it's nice because even places like even cheaper hotels outside of Disney World, and I'm not talking about California cheap, I'm talking about Florida cheap, which is really cheap there. Like $60 a night, you can stay at a resort or like a decent hotel, and you still get transportation to the park for free.
Right. Do you guys also know about the Skyline thing that they just added recently, or the Zip? I don't know what it's called. The
Skyline. Where at Disney World?
Not the Skyline. It's a new mode of transportation that I guess it's like an homage to what we used to have here in Disneyland. Is the sky buckets that you get into this little shaped
like
box.
A gondola.
Kind of like a gondola. I think that's what I forgot the name of it. But anyway, it takes you to only specific locations. So I think it only takes you to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, and maybe Animal Kingdom. But you just get into one of these things, and then it's like you're just cruising along on this little box that's like hung by a line, and you just see everybody else just walk into places while you're just sitting there, just relaxed. It just takes you away. And
I love that.
I know it's and the best part about it is that they're all themed with different characters painted onto their thing.
Oh, I like that too.
I know. I'm trying to remember. Let me look up the name of it. But hang on. What else? Hang on. Disney World gondola.
Like, so what did we touch up on? We talked
the Skyliner. Yeah,
cost.
I was right about the name. It was called the Skyliner.
Okay, Skyliner.
Anyway.
I'll have to look it up. I've never seen it before.
Oh, it's adorable.
Sounds cool.
So,
there's not as many parades in Disneyland, obviously, because it's smaller.
Right.
Same as the character problem. I wish there were more.
Yeah.
It's very limited amount of times that they come out. So it's like, oh, if you missed it, you probably missed it for the whole day.
You know, I think that's the biggest comparison that people can at least logically or at least correctly do is just the matter of size, and that's it. Because, like I said, experience in both parks are completely different, depending on how you look at it. But it's mainly the size.
The Magic Kingdom and Disneyland, our layout is the same.
It's exactly the same. Just Disney World's bigger.
And if you notice behind me, the Main Street in Disney World is a lot bigger than Disneyland, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Everything. is bigger.
The castle's bigger. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys something then, because I know that the Cinderella Castle has the special hotel that you could spend like one day or one night in, but does it also have the story time walkthrough thing like Sleeping Beauty does?
It has what?
Okay, so in Disneyland, we have this little walkthrough. You can literally walk through the castle as you're reading, it's like, I think it was like a story time experience.
I didn't finish it. Alice ran the way back. We were halfway through the dragon, and she was like, "I'm too scared," so she left.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
have you ever walked through the castle?
I have, but there's just like a little gift shop inside, right?
Are you talking about, okay, wait, Lanchen, are you talking about Cinderella Castle or Sleeping Beauty Castle?
This one. Which one's this?
Okay, we're talking about...
Finger's gone.
We're talking about the hang on, let me bring up the image really fast.
Sleeping Beauty one.
Yeah, we're talking about Sleeping Beauty, but I'm going to show her like...
It has
Sleeping Beauty's castle is Disneyland.
Okay. So here's what happens is that when you walk through
the castle looks
when you walk... I know. Shut up. I love this castle.
Just look how magical
I love this castle.
And I love it. It's so pretty.
I can live here.
By the way, this is the update I was telling you about where they repainted everything. It's just...
Isn't this the castle from like the intros of all their films?
No.
One? It's not?
Nope.
What's the castle?
Is it a different castle?
From all their films? Okay. So I think you're talking about like the more like updated intro that they've done for like 10 years now. Yeah, I think it may have been yours, but from before it was like more modeled.
Was that one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
You're right.
So going back to what we were explaining to Lanchen, it's like you go through the entrance here. It's like my finger keeps disappearing. You go through the entrance here, and I think you either take a right or a left, and there's a special door that you walk through, that you go up these stairs and into these this dark hallway. And in this dark hallway, there's different windows with different little like story pages, which tells you the story of Sleeping Beauty. And when you look inside these windows, they're all practical effects of these like different illusions about what the story is talking about. It's really cool to see. It's very simple, but it's very beautiful.
It's cute, but yeah, like I said, I didn't watch the ending because she was scared of the dragon. But
yeah, so
I did find that.
Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, you walk through it, and it's like through the hallway, and then once you're done, you're walking at the other end of the castle.
So is it a window display? Like the moving ones?
It's kind of like, it's almost kind of like a window display, but you're walking through a dark hallway after you walk up some stairs. So you're like, just listen. It's like a story time of Sleeping Beauty. So.
I will say that Disney World did not have the live window displays like they have on Main Street in Disneyland.
Oh yeah, I love those live displays. It's
Me
so much
too.
fun.
I feel like because Disney World is so big and they have more rides and attractions, the smaller things that you know that are around Disneyland that you can discover if you've gone a bunch of times are not at Disney World. They don't have those little tiny like memorable nostalgic things there.
Something that I like to do at the very end of the day, it's like when I get off the train ride, I decide I'm like, okay, I'm going to be here for like the last 10 minutes. What can I do? So I grab I get a bag of popcorn and I watch the displays. It's so much fun. Ashley, do you know what we're talking about?
I always stay till it closes and I watch them.
Mm-hmm. Ashley, do you know what we're talking about?
No, I have to say no.
Okay, so it's in the Disney, it's like on the Emporium side of Main Street, like one of the main gift shops. Outside are these gigantic windows that look like that look like little setups of some of the Disneyland movies. You know, it's like it's not like a TV screen or a projection. It's like actually there in front of you. But what's so special about it is that like at a certain time of the day, they all start moving around as if they were telling part of the story. Mm-hmm. It's really cute.
Lovely.
It's like flip upside down. It's so crazy.
Oh yeah. So here's a cool example I can give is that you will, like for Toy Story, you see what looks like Andy's room and you see some of the toys around, but you don't see Buzz or Woody. But at a certain time when you're in front of the window, you see two hands come down, which is supposed to be Andy's hands, holding both Buzz and Woody, and the hands are moving around like they're playing together. And it's like, and then it just goes back up, done, end of the show. But it's like the equivalent of opening up a musical box and you see a little ballerina moving around with music playing in it. But there's a lot, of course, more to it in the Disneyland in the display windows. I will say though, Lanchen, because we both know all of them. The best one for me is the Aladdin display because there's a lot that they
Yeah,
show.
Yeah, this. Oh my gosh, yeah, when the genie. That one's
Okay, so
really
it's like the
cool.
genie, and then there's like multiple layers of like the gold coming, like gold
Yeah.
coins coming up in mountains and everything. But
I'm
there's
like,
also
those displays must cost a lot.
they do cost a lot, but it's especially to the people that they have to mold them, shape them, design them, and everything. But actually,
Yeah.
some of them have special illusions too, like mirror images.
I'm gonna have to
illusions.
like look this up now.
Oh, there's definitely a YouTube video on all this. It's pretty fun to
Definitely.
see.
Disneyland just goes above and beyond with the little special things they do because they know they
Don't
have
have the
to
space.
somehow compete with Disney World. And I really do like those like hidden gems that are at Disneyland that
As
Disney
do
World
I, yeah.
doesn't have. Just because when I went to Disney World, I looked up those special things and I found no list of anything. And I asked people in the parks, and they're like, yeah, we don't really do those things here just because we don't need to. And taking someone to the Disney World park and the Disneyland park, I feel like the Disneyland park was fun because you're kind of exploring. Like, yeah, there's not as much to do, but you're showing them all these hidden gems that are in the park that most people don't know about. And it's just really fun.
Right. Like the little things in life count. Another cool little window display. It's literally across the way. There's a little thing that makes you trip out, like psychedelically, like it makes you hallucinate a bit. So it's like this thing where it's in front of the magic shop. You go up to one of these windows and it looks like a circling spiral, black and white spiral. And it
I know
says,
what you're talking about.
yeah, you stare at okay, Ashley, what it is that you stare at the center of this circling thing for about 30 seconds. And then it says, the little sign says, when 30 seconds is done, look at your hand. And like, if you look at your hand, like the little things on your palm start moving around. You'll also look around, things start moving around as if you just took LSD or something.
How would you know about that?
Yeah, why you can't talk about that on the show. This is a PG
I've watched.
show.
Okay, I will be honest. I've never taken any hallucinogens. However, I've known about that because there's also a YouTube video that's similar to that I've done.
Oh, okay. I see.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You re-quoted.
Yeah.
Is that there's a magic shop. Is that any of those near the magic shop?
Yes. So the magic shop, the magic shop windows display has that circling spiral, but literally across the way is the Emporium Disneyland basically the main gift shop in Main Street. Okay. That all those windows displays have that little special little thing, but it's much better to watch it at night, mainly because of the lights and everything, the colors. It's a lot of fun.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like little.
I'm gonna watch that next time.
So that's a lot of fun. Is there anything else we can mention, or should we just like wrap it up right there?
I think we mentioned
a lot.
Yeah. How long is this video?
For this part of the podcast, it's almost 50 minutes. The main
it's
part.
Maybe like an hour and a half.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is pretty modern for all my other podcasts and everything. So
yeah.
Lanchen and Ashley, I want to thank you so much for finally being on this episode of the Warholy Talks Disneyland podcast. This was like the perfect topic to talk about since you both have been to Disney World. I still have yet to experience it. But when it comes time for me to go, I'm probably gonna start having the same mindset as you guys of what's better than Disneyland and all that stuff. So.
You're gonna be like, I get you guys. I get it now.
I understand. After 2 weeks of being there, I understand everything now. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody who's been tuning into the podcast and listening to everything. We hope you have a wonderful day. Please do keep staying safe during this whole coronavirus pandemic, as well as when the Disneyland parks open. Still, please be as safe as you can. Wear the mask and everything. Any last things you guys want to say?
Go to Disney World.
Go to Disney World. Go experience it if you can.
It may not be a John Stamos experience, but still have fun as much as you can.
Can I ride along next time?
Yeah, there you go.
I want to go to the back rooms now. Like I want to experience the other side.
I still have yet to. I want to be visiting the utilidors, the tunnels, and everything. That would be fun.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Can you do that?
No, you can't. No.
Okay.
It's specific. It's only like, what is it? Exclusive just to cast members, because they have different things down there.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. Please stay safe. Always remember, have fun at the parks. Thank you so much. Bye bye.